Ooh.
What's good, Facebook?
Hey, what's up, everyone? I'm sure this will end up on YouTube as well, because this has been a widely requested topic in some different circles that we're part of. So, buckle on your seatbelt. Hold on to your seatbelt. I'm going to be fascinated by the ratios of people who are going to find that this video is super, super helpful and like totally helps their relationship go to the next level, and the amount of people that are going to be triggered by the title and won't even watch it. How you doing, Jess?
I'm doing fabulous, everyone.
Yeah. Hey, it's Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Jessica's my Valentine forever.
Oh, Mitchell. You're my Valentine forever.
Hey. Shout out to being married. If you're married and you're watching this, leave a comment and say married. If you're watching this and you're not married, but you want to be married, leave a comment that says
hashtag single.
Hashtag single, ready to mingle. Right, single, ready to mingle. Throw that in the comments.
Yo, all right. Pepe, put that in there.
Pepe.
Pedro Miranda.
Hey.
Single, ready to mingle.
Pedro Miranda, most eligible bachelor of 2022.
Geez. Yeah,
well, he's up there, yeah. Okay, so this is going to be a good one. Hey, Britton, good to see you from you, man. Alright, this is going to be a good one. I suggest grab a piece of paper because we're about to share a lot of very valuable piece of information. And I would suggest watch this video if you are looking to have more harmony in your relationship, whether you're dating, whether you're married, whether you're single and looking for a long-term partner. You're for sure going to get more harmony out of this video. As well as a more clear understanding on what is the role of the female and the role of a male in a relationship. And this is, typical. I know there's always nuances. We know this, right? Sometimes women can be more masculine. Sometimes men can be more feminine. We're just saying as base guideline, what we see works very effective, not just in our own relationship, but in, 50 other relationships of our friends. So for more harmony, for more clarity in the roles. And what else? What would you say is kind of the main thing behind this topic?
Less stress. Like, in every aspect of life, because when you're able to see the value of your role and know what your role is, have it defined, you're able to flourish within it. You're able to get creative within it. You're also not having this back chat saying, oh, maybe I should have done this, or I feel like I'm obligated to do this, but I don't know if I should do this because I don't know if it's my role. Like, not having things defined and not being clear and in agreement on those things it's very difficult to be calm. It's difficult.
Well, let's just put it like this. If you don't have a clear agreement with your partner or your prospective partner on like what you want your relationship to look like. Such as, for example, right? If you're sitting down with them and you're saying, hey, as the guy, because the guy should lead this conversation, the guy can then say, hey, this is where I want our relationship to go. What do you think? And then they're open to feedback, right? They could say like, hey, I'm going to go handle all the money making. Or for right now, I need you to work, but for the next 6 months so we can get it to the point where then you don't have to work. But it's like simple stuff like that. But you then explaining sort of the rules of the relationship. And then, of course, the female, you need to have agreement, right? Because she might be like, hey, that's actually not the best idea. What if we do this? Sometimes that's great, right? Because as a guy, you can only think of so many things. But that type of initiative being taken, where you can have a clear agreement from day one, and then you live that agreement every day. I mean, that is, game changer. So,
absolutely. So I've been seeing a lot on Facebook, a lot of people being very triggered by, your wife doesn't make any money? Your wife doesn't work at all? You retired your wife? She's 24 years old. She should be working. She should be bringing value to the relationship. What are you doing? I would never be in a relationship like that. I'm seeing a lot of that go on. And I'm going to tell you right now, the value I bring is indispensable. Yeah. The value I bring is equivalent to the money that Mitchell makes.
Yep.
Because he is able to make way more money because I take the role that I do. And there's lots of people saying, oh, you're just a sugar mama. Oh, he just makes a bunch of money. You'd be nothing without him. But the reason why people are saying these things is because they have been programmed, which means they have seen it in television, they've seen it on movies, they've seen it time and time again with celebrities, with just the culture around them has influenced them in a way that they think the relationship has to go a certain way. They think the woman has to be equally bringing in money for the relationship to be of value.
Yeah, well, everyone here, just whoever's watching this, leave a comment of what do you see as the classic female nowadays that's being programmed in the media, like on TV shows, movies, like Jess was saying, magazines, just in social media. What are some characteristics of the typical modern female that makes her valuable, right? Where she's, living in the best way that the media would claim. Mm-hmm. I just kind of want to see from people in their words, is it like she's like strong, she's independent, she's fierce, like,
right.
What do you see as mainstream? Just keep going. It's good.
Because what that has neglected is realizing what feminine and masculine really looks like. Like healthy, productive feminine, healthy, productive masculine. Mm-hmm. Because they've demonized masculinity and they've demonized weak feminine. And mm-hmm. I don't agree with weak feminine, you're right. But I don't agree with tyrannical feminine. I don't agree with feminine to the extreme. I don't agree with feminizing men, because that has created weak men. That's created men not willing to stand up and provide for the family. That's created this entire dynamic that I've explained where guys are saying, I'd never be in a relationship like that. That's because you're weak. You're not willing to stand up and you're not willing to provide and take the sole responsibility of providing for your family. Mm-hmm. And this world has supported you with that. And I have realized within this dynamic, my role, one part of that has been becoming a cheerleader. And that sounds so cliche, that sounds super like it belittles me. Like it makes me not as valuable, like, oh my gosh, that sounds so annoying and just gross altogether, right? But what that really practically looks like is seeing when, say, Mitchell's struggling with something and just ask him, hey, is this something you want to talk about? And if he says, yeah, I'd love to talk about it, it's a great time right now, or it's a great time later, like we'll talk about it then, okay, cool. Mm-hmm. So then when we're talking, I don't simply ask him what's wrong and then try to give him a bunch of advice from a female's perspective, because he has a different mind than I do. He is masculine, he is focused, he's Newsflash, everyone, there's a difference between men and women. I know I might get canceled for saying that nowadays, but there's a fundamental difference between men and women, and the masculine and the feminine. Yes, and so how I can support him is by asking him questions. Like, hey, Mitchell, why do you think you're experiencing this? What has led up to this point? And diving deeper and deeper and deeper and asking, okay, so that feeling, how is that created? And a woman is really good at mapping things out and seeing things from a whole perspective, being able to piece things together and ask questions in a way where it brings him to conclusions he never would have before. And that is your superpower. Yes. Like, women are amazing at that. Yep. And if you can tap into that and use that to support him in a way where you're not just forcing words down his throat, but he is coming to the conclusions on his own, that is the most productive way to work through any issues you have. Anything, any resistances he has, any things he's not able to go through, like 100%, that is one of the best things you can do as a cheerleader of a woman. Yeah, so this whole thing, now from my perspective, because I agree fully with that. It's like the female perspective is just, it's like men are really good at being very focused and very determined in building shit. And that's what I love to do. Every single day I'm doing that. But then sometimes I'll get
so focused on something, or I just take on more responsibility, more than I may think I can really handle. And I'm like, I'll fucking figure it out. That's kind of my MO. Is like, I'll figure it out. I trust myself enough. But then I can tell I'm still not operating at 100% within it. And then Jess usually can pick up on it. And here's what's awesome about the way that Jessica, she's refined this, and I've refined this too, is there's a big difference between if the woman goes, if it's kind of like a weird, like complaining, nagging type of like, hey, like you're acting like that again, like what's going on? As opposed to like, hey, like, you know, is everything all right? It's like a different tone, just the way that it can be brought up. And sometimes it can be fun, sometimes it can be playful, sometimes it can be serious. But the way, go ahead, are you going to say something?
It's super easy to nag.
Yeah.
Say he's not performing at his best, and you can tell him, you're like, babe, I know you can do better.
Yeah.
But that is not a productive way to solve what's going on. Because if you simply nag and just say, why didn't you just do it like this? You could be so much better at that. And like being direct in the wrong way. Yeah. Because you can be direct, but you have to be direct in a supportive, nurturing way. So that word right there, nurturing, is what the feminine is an expertise in. When you can refine it and get it to be productive. But there's such a lack of true nurturing in this world. It's taking me years to develop even a little bit of nurturing, let alone like being really well-rounded with my nurturing. I'm working on that. But to nurture a man is to support him to come to his own conclusions, to support him to realize where his own weaknesses are in his, like, by himself. Yeah. But you're nurturing him to do that.
There's like a few points that came up with that. One is, I remember early on too when Jessica, she would help me like think of, because I'd be working on the business, and initially Jessica was helping me with the business, like when we first formed our relationship. And my goal, both of our goal, we were in agreement that let's get her out of the business so she can just focus on the home. We have animals, we have 10 acres of property, we have a lot to do here, and she thrives in that, and she makes food, all that stuff. But I was like, okay, how do we get to that level? But I remember early on, she was still kind of involved with the business, and we hadn't clearly defined these roles. So sometimes she would just tell me what the conclusion was. So she's like, hey, okay, so you gotta go reach out to these 4 people and then book that meeting. And I'm like, Jess, I hear you, but I'm still resisting you saying that. And I realized within myself, right, this is what I'm saying, take notes, because there's so much here, right? Within myself, I realized I now had to let go of a few points of like, feeling like, she's nagging me. It reminded me of memories of my mom, when my mom would tell me shit. And so I was like, right, I would resist it. Even though she's telling me what the thing to do, which I know on a deep level is the right thing to do. But here's the shift that started to happen was I would tell Jess, I'd say, hey Jess, could you maybe help me say that in my own words? So then she went from telling me these statements to then asking me like, hey, do you think it makes sense to meet with, how many people should you maybe meet with this week? But well, for sure those 3 people, probably those other 2. She said, okay. And like, how important is that? But, no, it's really important. She said, okay, what do you need to do? I'm like, I should do this. Great. Because now within myself, I came to that conclusion. Now, over time, we've refined it. Now sometimes she will just tell me the thing. But that took us time to get to where now I can hear her and vice versa. She can hear me and support me in a way where, again, it really helps me to kind of come up with that. So that's one.
Also then saying, that's a great idea, babe.
As long as it's genuine, which she's very, like, if it's genuinely a good idea, and she's like, babe, that was really good. I'm like, yeah, that was really good, right? It's this funny thing with guys.
Okay, so this is going to sound very, just
Are we going to get canceled? Yeah. Okay, we're definitely getting canceled.
But it's like you're training a dog.
I was just going to say that. It's like a dog. It reminds me of Teddy. Shout out Teddy, who's here on the floor. He's chilling.
So when I am saying good job, that's essentially giving him a dopamine hit saying, that keep coming up with conclusions.
Yeah.
So every time he comes up with good ideas and answers and solutions and things like that, then you're feeding him like, yes, keep doing that. Yes. Good job, babe.
And the male brain is wired for this. Guys are always focused on a goal and like solution, like solve the problem. That's why you'll find this is why the man as a cheerleader to a woman, it doesn't work the same way. Because sometimes a woman just wants to talk and they just want to feel heard.
Yes.
Which, cool, okay, that's how the woman's brain works. All right, I, as a smart man, I acknowledge that. So sometimes Jessica will come to me and she'll be like, hey, I got a lot on my mind, can we chat? And I'm like, okay, sure, I got some time. And we'll chat. And now I've realized, because within myself, I'm automatically coming up with solutions. I'm like, well, she could just talk to them and just say that. Or, oh, she could just do this. And I'm like, you need help with vacuuming the stairs? I'll just go vacuum the stairs, whatever. But it's like, I'm always trying to solve. So then I've got very smart at this, because now I realize sometimes, so for the guys out there watching, or for the ladies,
we'll do another video.
Help your guys.
Yeah.
But it's like, I now know, I'll say, hey, Jess, just so I'm clear, do you just want me to listen right now? Or are you really looking for solutions? Simple question. But then she'll be like, no, I just need someone to hear me right now. All right, cool. Now I know.
Yeah, and so going back to that point of like training him, essentially. So another great aspect of that is when he has small wins, you want to encourage the small wins with encouragement and just saying like, that was a great idea, or like letting him know that is going to lead to more in the future. So that one decision, like show him the vision of it, because women are really good at vision. So if he comes up with something and you can see long term that something is going to happen because of that, then you point it out. You just be like, babe, that's going to lead to this. That's amazing. Good work.
Yeah, or you could even ask it as a question so he can see it. You could be like, or again, you could just say that, like, hey, that's going to lead to this. Or you could say, hey, babe, what do you think that could lead to?
If you continue to do that on a regular basis, or if this is a part of the plan now, like, what could that possibly lead to? So that he comes up with it. And that's
like so motivating.
It depends on the
as a guy,
situation too. But then a big thing is if he gets like, specifically if your husband is in sales, if he gets a sale, ring the bell. Like, he literally has a bell
and
on
sex.
his...
And have sex.
He has a bell on his desk. And it's like a service bell. When you ring a bell if you need someone to come to the desk. Get him a bell. Then he's gonna ring it, and then it's loud enough so wherever I am in the house, he rings that, and I'm like, woo! And then he can hear me from wherever I'm at in the house. Like, yeah,
it's so fun, yes. Because that I can now reflect on really the past year and a half. So I've really grown the business that we have with Jessica's support that I would not be able to do if Jessica were not here. So if I didn't have Jessica and her cheerleading, which we've kind of redefined what cheerleading really means, if I did not have that, I would be freaking struggling. I'd still probably be capped at my income, right, per month. But now it's like, it's exponential. Because now also I know, if I get these sales, we get to take that trip to Florida. We get to go do this. Like, it's amazing. And actually, Megan, great question. Some days it's like 3 or 4. Other days it's none. Right? And then, so it balances out. But it's like, I'm so damn motivated to ring the bell. Because then I know with Jessica, it's like, wow, what do we get to do with this money? This is so fun. Right? And so now this leads me into a couple other points that are really important to touch on. Another is the woman is so powerful that the woman can either build a man up to his highest potential or tear him down and he is just destroyed. Like, you have so much power as the female. So anyone who thinks, this is just all about the man and the man is the center of the stage and all this bullshit. No, it's equal, right? I'm 100% the best man, she's 100% the best woman, and together that's a team.
Yeah, if I become toxic and I'm just like super emotional and short with him and just be like, you're not doing the thing.
Yeah.
You're not making sales.
Yeah.
You're not doing, like thinking in my head that I could do it better, thinking that he is not stepping up right now. Like, just having that back chat and letting it build, and then displaying space, displaying like I'm reacting to you, being cold. It's
horrible.
a typical thing that a female does, where she just rejects. She starts to reject him and defy him and do things and not do the little things for him and not encourage him and then you step away from your cheerleader role and he notices that. And then instead of him being able to focus on building his fucking business, he's thinking about, what did I do wrong to Jess?
Yeah, I'm like,
Jess?
I do not, like,
so then you're taking his focus
Yeah.
away from him building his business. You're being selfish, you're being pitiful, and you're being disrespectful of his role because you just want attention. Okay, if you want attention, explicitly ask him for it. If I need Mitchell, I tell him, hey Mitchell, I need this from you. And it's 4 out of 4 important. Or hey Mitchell, it's not that important, but I need it done within a week. Or whatever it is. I literally have a freaking document describing the things I need him to do. I have a list on our phone, a shared note of things we need to do. Because he is very focused. He is a very, like, list-oriented, driven, organized person. So if I utilize that to my advantage, then the shit I need gets done. And if I need his support emotionally or whatever that is, right? Like, I look at within myself, well, what can I do to support myself first? How can I be clear first for myself to even know how he could help me? And then I approach him in a way where it's not like emotionally manipulative, like trying to manipulate him to support me, but just being clear and upfront with him, like, hey, I need your support with this and this and this for these reasons. I need you to just listen to me right now, or I need suggestions right now, or whatever it is. Or maybe you just tell him, hey, I need freaking a night this week where we just hang out, just you and me, no phones, no nothing, like we just need to chill together. Like, you just tell him that and he'll make it happen. But he's so focused on the business, he's not gonna think about what you need. Unless you're trying to emotionally manipulate him, and that creates him not being focused on the business. You're going to make less money, and you're not going to have as much money to spend on whatever it is you want to spend it on. So if you want to spend money, honey, you help him focus. You help him stay driven, and you stop emotionally manipulating him, because that is one of the most toxic traits that women tap into, is emotionally manipulating the man. And I understand that men sometimes do it too, because we live in a fucked up world, okay? Whatever. But women, be honest. You do it more. You're more emotional. You experience negative emotions 7 times more than a man does. So when you experience that, you want him to experience it too. But he's never going to, because he literally can't experience emotion the same way you do.
Yeah. Yo, pro tip. Pro tip, write this down. Commit this to memory. If a woman does not have enough blood sugar, like enough calories in their body, they literally cannot produce oxytocin. Look at John Gray's research. He has a TED Talk on it, whatever. Just, this is the takeaway. One of the many takeaways from this. You always need to have snacks on you, okay? So ask your woman, or have her, just because she usually does grocery shopping, and I say, hey, go get whatever snacks you want. Because guess what? For guys, you can still produce all your feel-good chemicals even if you haven't eaten. That's why, like, a lot, like,
tell them what oxytocin is.
Okay. Oxytocin is the bonding chemical. It's in your brain, it's produced, and this allows, for example, it's why it allows, like, a mother and a baby to bond so well. Or with men and women, when you're cuddling, oxytocin is released. It feels great, right? It's the bonding, it's the trust chemical. Yeah, right? Isn't that fun? That's oxytocin. Guess what? Jessica ate breakfast this morning. So if a woman does not have, it's different for guys and men and women. So for anyone out there who's like, well, men and women are exactly the same. You have different biology, okay? I don't care what pronoun, whatever you want to say, sure, do that.
So in short, a woman is not able to enjoy herself unless she's fed.
Yes. So if you're out on a date, right? I was thinking of this. I was talking to someone, they were planning on getting engaged. And we were talking about engagements and how, like, guys will go above and beyond, and they're like, oh, I have a drone footage and I get up candles on the beach and I'm going to propose. I'm like, imagine how many times that guy has gone above and beyond. He spent thousands of dollars for the perfect engagement, but he didn't bring a freaking snack for his girlfriend. So she's there and she's like, thanks, babe, but, like, I can't really enjoy this right now. I'm kind of stressed. Right?
We need to go out to eat as soon as we're
Yeah, isn't that hilarious? So that tip alone, I hope, is worth watching the live stream. But it's so real. So just have her get snacks that she likes, right? You can get some healthy candies and stuff like that, or whatever. But you always have that with her in her purse and stuff. And if you're going out, on a date, make sure she's well fed, and you can tell. There's like a switch that's get flipped. I'm like, oh, she's hungry, and I'll just be blunt with her. I'm not a pussy guy who's like, oh, I don't want to hurt her feelings. I'm like, Jess, you probably haven't eaten heavy, and she'll be like, she might like react a little bit, and I'm like, Jess, what do you want for a snack? She's like, okay, well, I want some chocolate and maybe some pretzels. I'm like, okay, good. And then we have it, and then we're having fun again. So let's be honest about physical reality, because we're physical people in a physical body. So let's honor that, right? And then it's amazing. So anyway, just wanted to. So ladies, tell your man. Men, tell your ladies. Right? This is a great thing.
Yes. So great point, babe. And then just to kind of bring up one more point.
Hey, Carl's watching too. Megan's probably like, Carl, watch this.
So the last point around like cheerleading I really wanted to bring up is that. So let me recap and then I'll bring up the last point. So we brought up, one, how to support and encourage when he's stuck on something or when he needs support in something. And how you do that is through questioning and helping him come to the conclusions himself, because women's superpower is seeing things overarching. Then also to encourage and support when it's small wins, because you're literally training him like a dog to produce dopamine every time he gets small wins, and helping him see the greater vision by asking him questions. What will that produce in the future? And then he's like, oh, don't do this. And I'll be like, oh yeah, that's great. And then you're like, that's a great idea, babe. And then for big wins,
it has to be genuine though. The guy can tell if you're bullshitting, and it will piss him off even more. He'll be like, why the fuck are you trying to control me?
And for big wins, genuinely get fucking excited.
Yes.
Genuinely, all of a sudden, he gets a big win. He rings the bell on his desk, and you're like, wherever you are, no matter what you're doing, you're like, pause this audio or pause whatever you're doing, and just go, that's freaking amazing!
And go give him a hug.
Good job, babe.
Right? Like,
this is exciting. I'm excited for you. You
hug
worked
each
really
other
hard
more.
for this. I'm proud of you. Give him a kiss. Grope him. Do whatever you need to do. Okay? Like, celebrate it.
Yeah.
And so those 3 points are really big. But the last point is for you to really genuinely tap into your feminine. Like, whenever you're doing whatever you're doing within conversation, whatever, be nurturing, and he can tell when you're stuck in your head and when you're trying to figure something out and you're not here present, just enjoying creating. Because wherever you're at in your relationship financially, you can thrive within it. Say you're not doing well financially yet. Well, guess what? You can figure out the most creative, frugal way to decorate the house and have fun with it. Look up ideas on Pinterest, on Google, whatever, and make it the best that you can within the means you have. Because you're amazing at that. That's another superpower that the feminine has. Because if you create that good environment, then he'll also do better. Because he'll know, this is a very non-stressful environment. It's clean. It smells good. I get good food here. It looks great. And now I feel confident having people over. And you can plan the events. Like, it's just so much better when you can really tap into your ability to create an environment.
Yo, if I had to decorate this home, it would look so sad. It'd be like a bunch of books, my laptop, a laptop charger, and some clothes like thrown in the corner. And I would have food. But it wouldn't be very... But like, that's what's so amazing is like, the man can like build the home, but then the woman will make it a home. It will feel good. It's like amazing like that. And West brought up a point like, I don't know, 5-10 minutes ago of like, what about with nowadays and, you know, genders and pronouns and all this stuff that's happening. It's like, I don't know. I'm not an expert in that, but here's what I do know is any relationship needs a balance of the masculine and the feminine. granted, 98% of the time, it's going to be the standard. The man is hardwired for it. He can go out in the world. He can fucking slay dragons. He can make shit happen if he has the right woman behind him. And the woman will be very nurturing, and it will come natural to her, and it's fun. We've been programmed otherwise because the media said, oh, G.I. Jane, she can go, she can have a machine gun, she'll go kill people. Granted, yes, there are women who kill people, and there are probably women that do amazing things in the military for whatever reason, right? But don't believe what the media is saying, though.
If you look at it, we are where we are now because of everything we've done leading up to this point. Which,
what do you mean, we, like a collective we?
A collective we.
Yeah.
So if you look at male and female roles over time and how they've changed and fluctuated and look differently, and the media has told you to feel a certain way about different things, and I understand that the housewife at home who couldn't vote, like, she didn't have the same kind of rights. But hello, it's 2022, I can fucking vote. Like, I don't have to prove anything. And I'm sure there's some wage discrepancies, but guess what? I don't give a shit. I'm 24 and I'm retired and I'll never work another day in my life. Yeah. So who cares? Yeah. And he doesn't give a shit because he doesn't work for corporations. He's an entrepreneur. He's a business owner. Exactly. So we don't participate in that. So if you see it's corrupt, then stop participating in it. Yeah. And still honor and respect your feminine and your masculine, because it is beautiful and it is the most powerful thing when you tap into it. Yeah. But if you try and control and manipulate and make myself more masculine, you run into so many issues. I grew up with three brothers on a farm, and I had a lot of masculinity around me growing up. And so it took me years to really embrace being feminine because I was a tomboy growing up. It was very easy for me to tap into hanging out with the guys and being very brutally honest and just beating up on people, and just that's why in basketball I always fouled out because I just was so aggressive all the time. I was not dunking. I'm tall, but I'm not that tall. I didn't really have hops. Yeah. Anyways, so I really had to look at what does it mean to be feminine and how do I embrace that? Because in this role, it creates the ability for Mitchell to do amazing things. And that doesn't belittle what I do, because what I do, like I said, is equally as important, because he could never
I couldn't do what I do if I didn't have
what he does without me. And the impact that we're creating in the community and how relatable it is to have gone through a childhood where maybe you weren't encouraged to really be feminine, or maybe you literally didn't have a mom. Like, there's some people that grew up without mothers. There's people, like, that's what I'm saying. Like, there's environments around you that are potentially causing you to focus more on masculine or feminine. And there's also encouragement all around in the media and in TV shows and in movies where it's praised upon for you to take on a different role than what you were birthed with. And I'm not here to judge. I'm just here to support you to realize that if you can use your biology to your advantage, it's advantageous. Because I can't produce oxytocin without food. That's a measurable, real thing.
And I cannot multitask, and I'm not going to pretend like I can.
And so there's things that I'm biologically better at. And those are feminine things. And so if I go against my biology, then it's harder. Yes, I can do it. I could be masculine if I wanted to. I could be transgender male if I wanted to. I could take on the masculine role in a relationship if I wanted to. 100%. It is doable. But it's not my physical biology. And so I'm literally going against what I'm naturally good at. And so it doesn't make sense to me. And so I am using what I'm naturally good at to my advantage in our relationship. That's why we're so successful at such a young age. That's why we have a beautiful 10-acre estate. That's why we've got beautiful animals. That's why he bought me one of my dream cars for Christmas this year. It was a Porsche Macan. Like, it's just fun. It's fun to be successful and embrace what you're naturally good at and do it together with a partner.
Yeah, no, so thank you for sharing all that, Justin. Here's my kind of final point on this is I get it why there's been such a push, especially for women, to like make your own money and to be successful. Because a lot of the guys in the world are losers. So I get it why you wouldn't want to be dependent on the guy. Or if you're gonna get married to a guy, you'd have that kind of that backdoor option of like, he seems pretty good, but I don't know 10, 20, 30 years where this is going to head. So I get it why a woman would not want to fully trust the guy, or because of whatever situation. Let's say the guy is capped out because he just has a salary and he can't make, tons of money. Why the woman would also want to work and all that. I get that. I'm not downing that by any means. Like that, it makes sense why that would be the case. Just what we're here to show is that there is another way. And I see plenty of people watching, such as Megan and Maylat, and there's others where I see Drake and Christine, where you have that trust with your partner because you're in alignment with principles. So you're together for the long run. As you say, ride or die. Mm-hmm. And it's really wonderful to see these women are able to trust their guys because all these guys, they're entrepreneurs. So they can make enough money to cover for both of you and your families that are going to be growing. Exactly what Megan said, making love real. And what this looks like is now as the feminine, you have that superpower to really support your man, to cheer him on, to ask him questions, to be there, to nurture him, to make him food, to help keep the home a lovely, rejuvenating space.
And that is not a small task.
That is probably harder than building this business.
Like they're equally as hard because I look at what he does and I think I could never do that.
Yeah. So and that's what's so awesome about it. And so I get it why the average woman nowadays would not necessarily trust a guy. But if you're curious about this and you want to see this, for example, our group we have, it's called Self-Perfected. And it's a free Facebook group. But of people that are talking about this kind of thing, and there's plenty of examples of couples, some of them even met in that group, where they have the man and the woman really thriving, and you can see a really healthy expression of both. And it's one of the coolest things.
And does that mean that we think we're perfect?
No.
That means that we're striving.
Yes, it's like imagine you're a chef and you're like perfecting a recipe. Like you make these amazing pasta dish and you're perfecting it. You realize it's not the perfect dish, but you're perfecting it. That's what we mean by self-perfected. It's the perfection of yourself. Realizing you can have some shortcomings. Like stuff is you will trip up at times, but in the moment when you trip and fall on your face, what do you do then? Do you react and then you go into a pity party and you're like, poor me, and blah, 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 and my partner, this, and blame, and, fight and manipulate? Or do you say, I just fell on my face. That sucks. How do I make sure I don't do that again? Hey, Jess, could you help me with this? Or vice versa. Right? That's self-perfection. Right? It's not some weird perfectionism, idealist thing. It's like, I'm going to be honest that I want to be the best version of myself. I want Jess to be the best version of her and vice versa. I want to see the best version of our community. I want to have the best family. And we can all do that together. Why not do that? Wouldn't that be the best version of life? Like, let's do that. So that's what I mean by self-perfection. And that's really the thread of our whole community. And there is really helping everyone at their fullest potential. And you can see Jess thriving. You can see myself thriving.
And the community is thriving because nobody is accepting limitation within anybody else in the community.
Yeah. So if someone comes into that group and like, well, I just can't do this because of XYZ happened to me. And it's like, hey, okay.
Maybe we couldn't help you, encourage you to look at it a different way.
Yeah.
Depending on who they are and how they need to receive the support, it's just supporting people to not limit themselves.
Yeah.
Because that's unacceptable.
Because think about it. Imagine you're a parent. And you have a young child, and let's say they're trying to ride the bike, but they fell off the bike a few times. They're like, I do not want to ride that bike. I'm never going to ride a bike. I don't want to do that. I can't do it. I fell multiple times. There's all these reasons I can't do it. If you're a good parent, are you going to accept that limitation of the child? No. Granted, maybe it's not the best time for them to try again if they're just skinned their knee, but you support them. You say, hey, maybe we try this other type of bike. Maybe we go here. Maybe we watch some videos on. Right, you help that child so they don't accept the limitation of, I can never ride a bike. Because guess what? It's fun to ride a bike. Every once in a while, it's good to ride a bike. And now that child has that ability to say, you know what? I can do it. But that's like all of us as humans. We're all still on some level like that child, but we have these limitations of things just always have to be this way. I'm just always going to be like this. This happened to me. This is just who I am. When in reality, we can all do so much more because we've seen it in front of our own eyes over the past 2.5 years.
With ourselves and with other people.
I had never thought that this was really possible. I'd always, we both have always had big dreams from day one. Like, oh, we want to change the world.
Yeah, we thought this was at least 10 years out.
Yeah, at least. And now we're here because we have
How
really
long have we been together? Less than 2 years?
So April 18th. Yeah, less than 2 years.
Less than 2 years, people.
Yeah, so 22 months, whatever. But that's, and
that's so crazy.
But you can see our older videos. You can see Jess with her short haircut. You can see
me
being uncertain. Right, you can see all sorts of stuff. But of us growing and really documenting this journey, and we figured out a thing or two. And it works because you can see all these other couples.
Well.
Like we just said, Drake and Christine, Megan and Carl, Asif and Melat. There are other couples that are doing this. So we're not special. We don't want to be special. We don't want to be the leaders. We don't want followers, anything like that. This is the opposite of guru land. This is us being equal humans. I'm a man, she's a woman, we have some principles we agree on, and we apply ourselves and we don't accept limitation.
And it's super effective.
Yeah. Another person here, Gaitan, who just came on. He's an amazing example. He just became a father. And him and his wife, they're getting more and more on the same page every day, and we see it. And we see Gaitan never makes an excuse. Or he might make some excuse unknowingly, and then we point it out to him, and he goes, oh, I didn't even see that, thank you, boom. And then he goes on and he applies it. That's the kind of people we love to work with and support and have as friends, and they can come over to our home, we'll go visit them.
People who want to be their best and live their best lives.
Yeah.
That's what we're about, because anything less is literally denying yourself life. It's saying, I'm not worthy of being here. It's saying, I am unappreciative. Like, you're literally disrespecting existence by saying that you're not going to be your best self and live your best life.
Yep. Yeah. And just the last piece here that I think would be good is what we're building is so amazing. And some days I will have a lot going on. And because I build a business, right? I go out into the world and some things work and it's great. Other times I get smacked in the face and I get rejected. And I'm like, it's frustrating sometimes, right? I'm human. I still have emotions and stuff I'm working on.
Guess who doesn't reject him?
Oh. Because that's the beauty of it is at the end of the day, I can come home. I'm not going to pretend like I feel bliss all day long and it's so fun and easy to build a business. Like, yes, there are certain things that I do that make it work really well, but I will hit some edge and then I have to transcend. But guess who's always there for me at the end of the day? I can talk to Jess, right? We'll hang out and sometimes she'll be nurturing and supportive. She'll make me dinner. She'll give me some ice cream or something that she knows I like to eat. Other times we'll hang out. We'll watch a TV show or we'll watch a movie or we'll go on a double date with our friends and things like that. But at the end of the day, I have that. I have Jess, and so she's there for me. So now I can be even more bold throughout the day. And here's a really good indicator if your relationship or your potential relationship or whatever is if it's productive or not, is when you're in that partnership, are you now doing more? Are you taking on more responsibility? Are you getting more involved in your community? Are you engaging more with people? Are you connecting more with people? Is she thriving? Is she able to do more?
Everyone, I hope you heard that.
Yes.
When you're in a relationship, you should be doing more.
Yeah. You should be being more, you should be doing more, having more, everything.
There are so many people who do more before a relationship. Excuse me. Just to get in a relationship. And then they get in that relationship and they do less. It's
like both of them end up just like caving in. It's
They're
like this
comfortable and it's easy.
Yeah.
And now I don't have to do anything for the rest of my life because my purpose was finding you and now I'm done.
And I love you so much, baby. It's like, okay.
All we have to do is get by. We just need enough to survive.
Right, and then you just spend your Friday nights staying home watching Netflix instead of going to an event.
Drinking,
right? And making couple
smoking, wasting your time.
And here's the thing. If you're a guy and you don't have a sense of purpose, of like, I really want to change things in the world. Because, newsflash, look at the world. It's messed up. I don't care who you are, what country you're in, whatever. There's a lot of change happening, and there are certain groups of people that are grabbing for power right now in the world. If you're a guy or if you're a lady and your man is not saying, how do I have a sense of purpose that's beyond just me and just us, but it involves our community? Whether it's your local neighborhood or local political office or the whole freaking world, that man, as long as things are firing right in his brain, should want to take on that responsibility to say, look, I'm fed up with this, XYZ. I'm going to get out there in the world and make it happen. And the woman is behind him every step of the way, supporting him, nurturing him, giving him pep talks, giving him advice. It's like, that is a really good indicator of is that man thriving to his full potential. And that's what we're here to do. So as the woman is a cheerleader, right, she's there cheering me on. Sometimes she's with me on the front lines.
It's like yin and yang, female and masculine. Like literally, without each other, there would be nothing.
Yeah.
There would literally
And that's
be
why
nothing.
this whole push towards like, oh, the masculine isn't this and the feminine isn't that or whatever. It's like, look, like they
just don't want you to be powerful, and they don't want you to take their power away from them, and they want you to be manipulated and easily controlled. That's all that is.
Yeah,
because they're hungry.
And by they, we mean there are certain people in the world who have a lot of power. Look at Mark Zuckerberg. The dude runs Facebook, right? He's got a lot to say. Look at people who are in the government. Do certain people at the top?
Pfizer and Moderna.
Yes. Do they
you know
want
how many
competition?
billions of dollars they have invested in their own fucking companies?
Or imagine that you run like the top oil or gasoline companies in the world. Do you want competition? No. Okay? Do you want to be at the top? Do you want other people or your employees rising up to be equal to you? No. Not in the current system.
How many people live in the world?
It's like 7.2 billion or something like that.
That's it?
Yeah.
Dude, there's people out there who are hundreds of billions of dollars in their wealth. They could give $1 billion to every person and still have hundreds of billions of dollars.
Yeah.
Why in the world do you need that much money?
Right.
Who needs that much money?
Yeah, because at that point you're controlling resources, right? And you're able to then manipulate things. If you don't believe me, look at what China's doing. Social credit score. How they own TikTok, but they don't allow certain things on TikTok in their own country, right? So there's a whole bigger power game happening here. But what we need to do, and what any rational male who has the right woman by his side will start to see is, hey, this isn't right. There's certain things in the world that are not right, that are currently happening, and I need to do something about it. And if the man cares more about watching porn, playing video games, being a boy, he just needs more support from the woman. Right? It's not to judge that man. He just hasn't been exposed to the right environment. That's why we created Self-Perfected. That's why we have Self-Perfected clubhouses, which are meetups that happen in many major cities. I think it's in 23 cities now. There's a consistent one happening. Okay? And so as a man, that is key to be doing that every single day, taking steps towards that every single day. And if you need to take Sundays off, go take Sundays off or whatever, right? Like, be honest with yourself about what you can do. But as you do that and you have the right woman by your side, you can become unstoppable. So for anyone who has questions about this video or needs further support or anything, you can reach out. You know where to find us. And at the end of the day, we ain't going to chase you down because we're very busy. But for the people who really want to take this on, we will make time because this is important. Okay? So, thank you for watching.
Welcome.
We appreciate it. What do we do for Valentine's Day, Jess? I know
What
we're
are
going
we
to have to
doing?
eat.
Oh, well, we're gonna go have really good food. We'll probably do a triple date with some of our friends. And we're probably gonna be doing, I think we have a plan for something afterwards, like dancing or movie or something. I don't know. Together with the groups at our house. And then we'll probably end up playing a game like Settlers of Catan or something because that's a go-to for our group of people. And I'll probably make a good lunch. You know, we're just hanging out doing the most. And it's not like you have to make today something super special. Like, that's something that we would do on a regular basis.
Yeah.
Because today is not special. It's literally just a day. And may this day be the day that you watch this video and realize what making love real looks like.
Yeah.
On a
what
practical
real
daily basis, because
effective relationship looks like.
love doesn't look like celebrating one time a year.
Ooh, I bought her all these flowers, all this stuff. Here's one other bonus pro tip, right? For all y'all who made it to the end. Bonus pro tip. So good. Remember the woman likes oxytocin? Those little hits of like, ooh, that's nice. Ooh, that's nice. Guess what happens? Whether you get her a 5-star meal, like a month ago we went out for a 14-course meal. Maybe there's 14 oxytocin hits in that. But really what it is there's one overall oxytocin hit she gets from that. And you get her flowers, you get her a candle, you get her a gift, everything. All on one night. Okay, great. She's like, oh, yeah, this is great. Guess what's better? Because that oxytocin hit is basically the same as 2 days later, you give her 1 rose. She's like, oh, thanks. Or you give her a compliment or something, right? It's like, it's the same thing. So rather than going all out one day.
Even better?
Ooh, tell us.
It's even better. Making a lot of money so I can buy things for the home. So I can buy chickens. So I can buy seeds. So that I can buy cookware. I can buy organic, awesome food. You know, that is even better. So I can do kitchen remodels. I can get my cupboards painted. I can get like all these new things. That, my friends, that's even better. And him just being there for me whenever I need him and living out our agreement, that is better than, we're stumbling on it. We can't do the kitchen cupboard, but I got you a rose. I'm like, save it for the bees. I don't care. I don't want a freaking...
Hashtag save it for the bees.
I don't want a stuffed animal. Like, are you kidding me? What am I going to do with that?
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's things that are practical that make sense. Like, he'll say, oh, I got you this, and it's great. Or we'll go do things, and things like that, where it's like, we're with each other.
We went to paint night the other night, and it was like fun.
That
it was like
great.
actually a fun experience together.
Right. But those little knick-knack type of things are actually abusing the world because they're worthless.
Yeah.
And they're wasting life. Like, they're wasting resources, they're wasting space, they're wasting his time and money. Like, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
So,
and that would really just happen because you're not on the same page. It's like, guys, look at your relationship like a business. It's like something you want to grow. And the profit of the business is how effective you two can be. And of course, you're going to feel happiness, you're going to feel love, you're going to feel good things from it.
he does thoughtful things.
Yeah.
One time, he wrote a book for us, and it was super
Oh, yeah. Oh,
One
pro
time-
tip.
He's really good at writing letters, and his words are super fun and super encouraging.
And the cool thing is, I don't have to write her this long freaking romance novel.
No.
It's just like a few really well-intentional, thought-out like phrases, or like what she means to me and what our relationship means to me and how it helps me.
Yes.
Boom. She's like, thank you, right? And that's great. I want to hear from everyone too. If you watch this whole thing, if you could leave a comment of what is your main takeaway from this, because I know we just shared a lot of stuff. I thought of like 3 more things I want to share, but I have a call I got to jump on in 5 minutes here. But Owaraku says, how do you get into a relationship? Ooh, good question.
Adam meetup.
For a man, how do you get into a relationship? Go build a business, but don't go build any business. Reach out to me first. I will show you a business that will create real tangible benefit in your life and in your community. And then you can go out and you can go talk to people about that. Cool. Hey, what up? Your name is different. Yes. Build your techno-tutor business, Koo. You can reach out to me or ask it for Seth or whoever. Because guess what? I was out at a networking business event that a friend invited me to. And Jessica greeted me at the door. She was volunteering. And I was like, wow, she's great. And I was like, she's really cool. I enjoy her. It took us a little while to get into a relationship, but right off the bat, because I was out there going and living my purpose. So I'm clear on my purpose, so I was going and doing that. And then for a woman, how would you say, would a woman get in a relationship?
Be clear on what your purpose is, because if you're clear on that, then you know what you have to find in a man. And make a list of all the things you think are important, and then really ask yourself, if he had everything but this, would I still want to be?
If you're like, he needs to have a 6-pack.
And then
if he had everything else but a 6-pack.
And then ask yourself, if he had nothing on this except this, would I still be with him? And really look at your conclusions with that list and realize there isn't just one person out there for you. Find someone who has a very similar purpose and meets the list got broken down to like 3 freaking items from like having 100 when I did it. And if he fits that and you're not repulsed by him, then sit down and just be like, hey.
Hey, even if you are repulsive, hey, you can sweet talk her.
Okay. Anyways, then just start chatting with him, because for a woman, sometimes you just have to freaking choose the man and pursue him, and like not necessarily pursue him, but just let him know I'm interested in this, and let him then pursue you. But like sometimes you just have to like be like the one to just be like, because sometimes men are just not gonna do the thing. Because they think they just want to be with a bunch of people. They think they don't want to settle down. But in reality, they do want to. They do want to.
Deep down.
Someone who really supports them and is consistent with them.
Because, again, I literally have to jump up in 2 minutes. But what's the alternative, right? As a guy, you're like, oh, I'm just going to date a bunch of women and go travel the world and stuff. It's like, that is a black hole. Like, sure, if you need to do that so you can go have whatever experience you need to have, go do that and do it with the least amount of consequences possible. Or don't do it and just learn from me and from others. Like, you're just wasting your freaking time.
So the biggest thing when finding a relationship is purpose.
Yeah, it's purpose, right?
Purpose!
Because then, guess what gets me out of bed and has me not make excuses, and I go and I crush it. Guess what that is waking up every day knowing I'm providing for Jessica, I'm providing for our future kids, I'm providing for our community. It's amazing. That is what I am here to do. And so that pushes me. When I feel like, oh, I'm done for the day and I don't want to work anymore, guess what I do? I just go fucking do more. Right? And so, yeah. Awesome. Koo, reach out to me. Now that I know that's you, I didn't know that was your name. So just DM me again or hit me on Discord. Ryan McCormick, hey, awesome to see you watching this Power Partnership. Yeah, I know you're in sales. You will make 10 times more sales if and when, and maybe you already do, but when you have that partner who's by your side.
When she's your cheerleader.
Oh my gosh, you'll make so much more money. It's
Let's
amazing.
all make more money together.
It's like a switch gets flipped. You're like, okay, no more excuses. So that is that, and yeah, thank you everyone for watching. This will be on YouTube. I'll post it again, and please share this with someone who needs to see it. Thank you. See you next time. Bye.